Hello, welcome to the stream. We're just about to start. Welcome, Thai Pizza Guy. Yes, San Antonio for the win. As Tandem. What's up, Tandem?
Jeez.
I'm glad someone got a good kick out of it. So, shall we look at some Twilight Masquerade stuff from Mask of Change? What do you think? I think we should look at some Mask of Change. Alright, so we're going to be focusing on the card reveals that came from Mask of Change on Thursday evening, Friday morning. This will be more or less our first impressions. Yes, I translated basically all these cards on Friday and the rest of them the day after. So yeah, let's jump into it. We've already reviewed or given our first impressions more accurately for the stuff on Crimson Haze. So if you see us skip cards, more than likely it's because it's from Crimson Haze. Just be aware that we do have, or rather I have another video out from for first impressions from Crimson Haze, so you're welcome to look at that. Alright, so our first card that we're going to be looking at here is the Sunkern and Sunflora pair. So Sunkern and Sunflora from this set. We have Sunflora, where a single grass energy does Sunshine returns 60 times damage, does 60 damage for each fire energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is a Screw You Charizard card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good it actually is, but it does exist. And then it has Mega Drain, does 50 damage, and heals 30.
Hey, you can Salvatore into it.
You know what kind of sucks about this card, though?
It's
doesn't
just Laura.
Hey, I like Sunflora.
It doesn't
No,
have
but-
the ability to put fire on it.
On your opponent's Pokemon?
Oh,
No.
never mind.
But the issue is for me is that this would have been a really great card in like Zoroark box.
Mm.
The
Oh,
problem
yeah,
is Zoroark is gone.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Mew VMAX.
Rest in piss. I mean,
Rest in pepperoni.
What did the pink cute thing do to you?
Cute thing.
Anyway, so yeah, Sunflora would have been really good in Zoroark. Zoroark unfortunately has rotated, so oh well. We do have Heracross with Body Slam does 60 damage. Flip a coin, and if it's heads, your opponent's paralyzed. Well, your opponent isn't. Their active Pokemon is, though. That would be quite brutal. And then we have Seismic Toss. For 4 energy, does 130 damage. Basically, the Heracross is great for its art. That's what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Volbeat, Illumise rather. So Illumise and Volbeat both have interesting attacks, but I think they're still crap. So Volbeat has Fast Sign. If you go first, you can use this attack during your first turn. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. So it's kind of a setup attack. If you're under item lock, it could be okay. Or if you're planning to be under item lock, I guess, because it is first turn. And then Illumise has Slowing Perfume. You can use the attack only if you go second and only during your first turn. Shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all attached cards into their deck.
That is actually kind of really interesting, especially Sander will find a way to make that work.
I mean,
Like
will they, though?
he'll probably have it as like a one of, because like if you think about it, if they can't get the hands into the active and they just did all that work to put a lot of that stuff on that Iron Hands, hey, yeah, that's just going back into your deck with all that.
I think the biggest problem I have with Volbeat and Illumise is that these attacks needed to have been for nothing, not for one.
My thing
I would agree with that.
I would prefer it if they had free retreat.
Free retreat would have worked too.
If
That
they
would have
had
also
free
been good.
retreat, I think they would be good. I think the Volbeat might see play, not the Illumise though. I think the Volbeat might see play.
It would
like,
see
niche,
some play in
very
like niche control archetype.
Yeah, because it's just effectively a battle VIP.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what it is.
That is what Volbeat is.
Vol-
Except it's a
Vol-
battle VIP that ends your turn, and you can use it on any turn, including your first turn going first.
It's nice being able to attack first.
In many ways, this is like a better Bombardier.
I could see
Yeah.
some people trying to do like
understandable,
a sudden transformation or the Ditto from 151 into this to do like a setup.
Try and make it consistent.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. I don't know. 151 did a solid play for like one tournament and then vanished.
That's just not
When the
good for
world
10.
needed him most.
I was about to make a card joke too. Dang it. All right, so we have Phantom and Trevenant. Trevenant, unfortunately, it's bulk.
I do like the artwork though.
The artwork's okay. I like the Phantom a lot more than
Yeah,
the
I like the Phantom.
The Phantom art is pretty good. Trevenant.
All right, I'm still just gonna say it. I love the Leafeon artwork.
Yeah, but that comes in haste, so we're gonna skip over it. Wacky has the ability Boom Boom Drum. Once during your turn, if your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, it may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
I love quick search.
Quick search is great. My problem with the whole Festival Lead archetype is that it seems very underwhelming damage wise.
Yeah, well, that, and it's also like very evolution based.
Yeah, that's also kind of painful.
Which,
although most of its attackers are basics, right?
The main one you'd want to be using is Diplin, right?
Is it Diplin?
Which is a stage 1.
We'll look at that in a second, but I don't know. It seems to me.
It is pretty meh, but like, I think it's interesting as like a concept.
Oh, for
but
sure.
Unless like we get some future festival lead future. I can't use the word future like that anymore. We get some Pokemon that have the festival lead ability in the future. Then maybe like they update it like they did with United Wings. Give us something later, but I don't know. I don't know if they would do that with something like this.
Yeah, so Thwacky has the beat attack, does 50 damage. It can evolve into Rillaboom if you feel like losing the ability. And during the game, probably.
So, I'm conflicted with the Rillaboom. The attack could be actually really useful in GLC. But the main issue is the Rillaboom that we already have from Sword and Shield.
Oh, it's just better. Like,
is just
there's no
better.
doubting it's better. It's like a lot better.
Because it's literally go search your deck for 2 energy and put it on one of your Pokemon.
There's no situation in which you would want to run this.
It's heavy bomb. It's heavy.
Like the only situation this is like if you just introduce somebody to the GLC and they don't have that Rillaboom yet.
I mean, they can pick it up for pennies because it was a league promo.
Yeah,
like it's not an excuse. We have Applin and Diplin. Diplin from Mask of Change has the ability Festival Lead, which we were talking about. So Diplin is a stage 1 that evolves from Applin. And the Festival Lead ability, we'll read it just this once here. It says, if Festival Grounds is in play, this Pokemon may use any attack it has twice. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. Then it has Do the Wave, 20 times damage. This attack does 20 damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So you can do up to 100 damage with Diplin.
Do me a favor. Do not ban this in 3-4-5.
Why would I ban this in 3-4-5? It's not even good in 3-4-5.
I wanted to make something
another
worse.
Zard killer.
No, it's just
Is
like
it even a Zard killer though? Because you're only hitting it for 200.
Did you ban the Miraidon?
200 twice.
Fair, because of weakness, yeah.
Did you ban the Miraidon?
Yeah, it's banned.
He's so sad.
Did you pay attention to the balance update like a month ago? Okay, anyway.
Also, shout out that artwork. He thinks he's being sneaky, but he's not.
Tandem, I actually think the Rillaboom would be fine in first steps, but probably only in first steps. For those of you who aren't familiar, first steps is where you like throw together a deck out of a pile of bulk and then learn how to play the game.
Bro, competitive first steps.
Dude, that's actually like crazy though. Let me tell you, I built a deck in first steps we used to play against everyone the whole time, and like everyone who taught used it at least twice, and it was really fun because it was built around Blossom and Heracross. It was Blossom and Heracross, and it was busted. There were so many coin flips, but it was great.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, so let's keep going. So Do the Wave, not too bad. Yes, it is a Charizard killer. That's actually not too bad that it can kill Charizard. The problem I have with it is that in order to get the best use out of it, you're going to basically need to have a full bench, and have the stadium out. Now, in Eternal and in the new 3-4-5, You do have access to Lusamine.
And Skyfield.
But you
Oh,
don't
here's
have-
Mahalo. That's a
You don't-
different stadium.
That's the problem. Exactly, you can't do that. The problem is that you can't do that in standard.
You know what would have been fun though?
Hmm.
If for some random chance it was dark and you could run it with Eternatus VMAX.
You know what Pokemon should have been one of these Festival League Pokemon? Deerling. Do you know why Deerling should have been a Festival League Pokemon?
Because it has 4 different seasons.
No. Because there's a Sawsbuck that has an ability that searches for Stadium card.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And that would have been great for it. Because it fills your bench
Mm-hmm.
and finds your stadium once it
That's
evolves.
so many evolution.
Can we have
lines, though.
Guzma Hollow again?
Guzma Hall is so broken.
Can we have VS Seeker again?
Okay, but that would have made it better. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a Deerling
Oh,
that
yeah.
has.
Prison's energy.
So yeah, Diplin, like this whole festival lead archetype. Don't get me wrong, I would love for it to be good or whatever, but I feel like it's a lot like the what archetype was it? The one that was built around Birdkeeper,
Oh, Sky
Oh,
Circus.
yeah.
Sky Circus, where like maybe somebody will see success with it in like top 256 at some point accidentally.
When the McDonald's relic is suddenly like $5.
But like it's gonna be one of those things where it's a fluke, and that's probably it.
Yeah.
I would love to be wrong.
You
but
mean like
same price tag,
top
feel like that
60
always.
pouring at a IC with United Wings?
I mean, wasn't Catterday good? And that was kind of like one of those.
Catterday was
things?
not a meme deck. Catterday was actually good.
Yes. I mean, it was one of those like ones that.
But
was
Catterday was good because you would put a little damage in and then you just smack the living shit out of your opponent.
Anyone ever seen a swim freely deck?
Actually, no, that's another good comparison. This reeks of Swim Freely.
Yeah.
And like Swim Freely, we tried to make it work too.
They've
Yeah.
printed more swim
They
freely
have, and
since
they
too.
were good. They were better attackers.
Yeah.
And in a different kind of format, I think Swim Freely would have been pretty good too. But like I said, Diplin, it has that same stench. It has that gimmick archetype that could be great, but isn't because format.
Mhm.
Like, what happens when
Imagine
this...
if Level Ball was still in format.
Oh my gosh, that might actually be a different story, genuinely.
Yeah.
Level Ball would have helped this deck a lot.
Level ball reprint?
But imagine here for a moment, if you will. You are playing this deck and you're in AIC and you're like, I am so good at the game. I have already gone 0-3, but I'm gonna keep playing. and
You win 6 in a row?
your next opponent in round 4
Is Zard.
is Future Hands.
Oh.
And you're like, I got this. I'm just gonna one-shot him. And then they just amp you very much 3 times and you lose. Because like all of your guys are squishy, and good luck actually knocking anything out.
See, now we just need Focus Band for grass types.
Just give me Dark Claw.
Where's it
with the
Sash?
types.
Is it Band or Sash?
Which one?
The one that makes the fighting types stay at 1.
Sash.
It's Sash? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. We need Grass Sash.
We've talked about this too much probably. I don't know. I want to love archetypes like this, but we've been burned by them so many times very recently. Like the most recent gimmick archetype that was actually decent, like you said earlier, was
You know what
Catterday.
they just need to do?
And that was Unbroken Bonds. Like
Is that
4
ignoring,
years ago.
Is that
What?
ignoring like United Wings?
That's not a gimmick deck.
What would you call that then?
It's
A
a
deck.
it's a vengeance.
Just the deck. Okay.
It's a vengeance style deck. It's the same kind of concept as vengeance. That's the type of deck that's existed throughout the TCG for a long time.
Okay, by gimmick you mean like an actual new mechanic that's
Where
building on it.
a lot of times it's built on like
Gimmick would be, I guess, the
using
best.
this plus this. Like Catterday is a gimmick deck, so yes.
Would,
like,
would
in
you
that
say
sense, it is a gimmick.
Kasagiri and
Dondozo?
Dondozo is a gimmick deck?
Where it's based on the number of Tatsugiri you have in your discard pile?
Yeah.
No, it's a vengeance style deck.
Okay.
They're all vengeance style decks. If is X in your discard pile, that's a vengeance style deck. They're all the same general idea.
If you
Whether
have-
it's Bee Revenge or Mad Party or Night March, they're all the same style of deck. It's ultimately get shit in discard pile and attack. Like that's
Battle
really what it
Compressor.
comes down to. Yeah, I know, and that's exactly what you do in Eternal. Is you get all the stuff in the discard pile and attack, and whether that's United Wings or Mad Party or
And just hope that
We
there's
are
not
getting
a
a Kalos game. Maybe Battle Compressor reprints coming soon.
you know what though, it's gonna be a past kind of thing or future kind of thing, and I don't see how.
fine. Put 4 in the discard.
Just okay. And we have Poltergeist from Mask of Change. We have talked about these guys a little bit, so we'll kind of skim through these. The other Mask of Change is the Sinistra. We've actually played with this already. It has a ability attack. It was one of the first archetypes we tested actually. Discarded 3 basic grass energy from your Pokemon in play. This attack does 70 damage for each card you discarded in this way. Unfortunately, that 210 cap is just not good. That's really what
They
it comes
keep
down to.
almost making grass good, but not quite.
No, they are doing everything in their power to say, screw you, Justin Basil, you're not allowed to have any good grass Pokemon, because Basil is the only good thing about grass.
Oh, look, they're just prepping for when Bellossomax takes over the format. They don't want to have any extra goodies to give it.
You know what? They need to make a
Forest
Blossom
Giant
and a
Plant.
Vileplume, where Blossom has a hit and run, and Vileplume, when it's in the active, you just can't play trainer cards. I'm just
Straight
saying,
up trainer
just
cards?
Trainer cards.
Damn.
Make it a 2-prizer, but make it
a
trainer
two-prizer,
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust Tandem, we are very full aware we're never going to get compressor reprint. We are very much joking.
We just like joking.
Like
about it.
compressor is one of the most ban-worthy cards in expanded. Like it's not broken, but it's pretty strong, to the point of getting pretty damn close to being broken. It's a very strong card. But yeah, probably not quite ban-worthy.
If they were to reprint Battle Compressor, it'd be like an A spec.
Yeah, I mean,
its number would probably be up to like 5 or something like that. But it would be an A spec.
that's funny you say that though, because the JIB format, when I was planning to reintroduce A-Specs in the 3rd set, and one of them was like, I can't remember exactly, it was like Super Compressor or something, and it is 5.
Because that's what I see them doing if they were to do. Lugia runs that for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Lugia, they say forget Master Ball, forget Legacy Energy. We got Super Compressor.
Yeah, we'll play 4 Arbin and Super Compressor and dump 5 all in the discard pile. Every single Archeops and like another card that we want. All right, so Tiamat Ogerpon has Mountain Stroll. Search your deck from 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, and shuffle your deck. Ogre comeback does 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So basically, this card sucks.
I wish it was a 30 times multiplier.
The good thing is this is at least in 3-4-5 format, you can use counter energy on this, so it can kind of be a quick slap back kind of thing theoretically.
I wish this
But
card
Tropius is probably just
was
better.
If it was a 30 multiplier, it would be a Zard killer, but it's not.
Tropius is probably just better even in 3-4-5 because it does the same. It does more damage for the same energy.
Are you talking about like
costs.
rally back?
Rally back.
Okay.
Then Ogerpon, Tiamat Ogerpon. It's a Pokemon in search of a deck. That's the problem.
It'll get it. There's no way it doesn't. If it doesn't get a deck, I would be shocked.
I'm just really annoyed that
Because we've seen all of Masquerade change, right?
we have, unfortunately.
So
I was hoping there would be something to make it so that we could do like a deck where you could play with multiple Ogerpon and switch in and out of them, and it would actually game matter. But no, it doesn't. None of that should happen.
what's after Masquerade change?
Night Wanderer.
Night Wanderer.
That's I think the next one.
I wonder.
Night
I
Wanderer
hope we
would
get
be
something in there.
Night Wanderer is probably Petulant.
Yeah, but that has to do with Ogerpon vaguely. So maybe
It
we'll
does,
still
but
get something.
we'll see if there's any more support for Ogerpon.
There's no way they just leave it at that.
Yeah. The biggest problem I have with Ogerpon is you have to have the damn energy in your hand. It's the exact same problem Gardenia's Vigor has. Except, the Gardenia's Vigor sucks because it's draw
I
2.
mean, we have Earth and Vessel in the format now.
We do, but it's just not enough. Not when you're already trying to draw into every other combo piece to make this stupid thing work. It's and then an attack cost of 3 on top of it.
3 grass, no less.
3, yeah, specifically 3 grass, and it's for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So you're already going to have to add extra on top of it because your opponent's going to attach as few as possible to work around this. It's all right. Up next, we have there's a lot of Crimson Haze cards there. Oh, cool. I didn't put the translation for Daramaka or Darmanitan. It's okay. They're both bulk.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Did you
I
need
will.
to?
No, I meant to. They should be there. They're just not there. Well, I'll fix that later. Litwick, Lampant, and Chandelier. The one that enters is Chandelier. Chandelier has the ability Inviting Light. Once during a turn, you may use this ability. Each player draws a card.
You know what that reminds me of,
Erica.
Ryan?
Hmm.
Remember Shockwave?
Yeah. So it's meant to be fodder for Mind Roller. So 30 times damage. This attack does 30 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. Basically, you'll force your opponent to draw 4 cards and then attack them with this. Yippee! Wahoo! Yeah, can't tell. You can't see, but I'm just clapping
Because it's slow clapping,
yeah,
That's something.
that's exactly what it is. I'm totally gonna get 4 stage 2s into play, so that I can make my opponent draw 4 cards.
You get my plus 120 damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a whole.
If you want 120 extra damage, play Skeletor Jacks on the stage too. You'll get there easier.
Yeah, you will, and it's no. Hearthflame Mask. This I can see seeing some play in as like a niche attacker and maybe Charizard or something of the sort.
Arc Armorage.
Arc Armor, yeah, I could see that too. So you have Wrathful Hearth that does 20 times damage. This deck does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Again, not too bad as a basic attack there. And then for Fire, you have Dynamic Blade. It does 140 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, this attack does 140 more damage, and discard all energy from this Pokemon. So if it's evolution, you're doing 280.
Poliwag is just so funny.
It's so sad.
He's so silly.
But Hearthflame Mask, what do you think?
It's an Ogre card. What can I say?
It's Overpon, so it's okay.
It's not goo for 10.
It's not good for
It's
him.
no go for 10.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's gonna see play.
I think that and the grass one are going to see play.
Tandem
honestly.
says Hearthflame has less potential than the Poliwag beneath it. I think that's unfair. I think it does have some potential. It's just not great.
I don't know. To me, it just feels like the grass and the rock one or the fighting one are going to be the better. I don't see that fire one.
Grass at least has the ability, but it's just there's no support for the type.
It functions as its own draw engine. One card.
One card. If I have grass energy in hand to draw cards with it.
Right.
And my opponent doesn't have an Iron Thorn ZX active.
How did I open the Sonic app?
Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath. Poliwrath's the one we're going to look at. Hypnosis puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep. And then it has Jumping Uppercut, which is 120 plus damage. You may do 120 more damage if you do shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck.
I love losing my stage 2.
Right? I spent all of that time and all of my rare candies building a Pokemon up to shuffle it back into my deck without the rare candy to do a whopping 220 damage with a freaking double turbo energy.
Yippee.
Yeah, no, it seems bad. Alright, back to our next Festival League Pokemon. We've already read this ability, so we'll skip reading it, but we will read the attack. Goldeen has Whirlpool as its attack for a twin energy. It does 10 damage, or if you have a twin energy attached, not twin, double turbo. Twin is not in format anymore. For a double turbo energy, if you have double turbo energy attached, it's doing 0 damage. But it lets you flip a coin, and if heads, you discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon.
You know, it'd be funny if the Goldeen had swim freely.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be more interesting. But so Tandem was talking about how he's trying to put together a control archetype for Festival Lead, and this is definitely, I think, at the center or something like that.
Yeah.
You would play it with Thwacky and just kind of tutor cards out as you need them alongside this.
Crushing Hammer.
Hey Drago, welcome to the stream. But yeah, like I said, I haven't really loved any of the I haven't really loved any of these Festival League Pokemon. They're all pretty underwhelming, unfortunately. Like Thwacky is good for sure. but the Festival League Pokemon are lacking, I feel.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
Yeah, so there is also a Seeking, which is just pack off, dump all tools. Jinx is junk. These guys are from Crimson Haze. We have a Milotic. We have the ability Serenity. Your opponent's Pokemon in play and any cards attached to those Pokemon cannot be put into your opponent's hand. So this is a scoop up blocker, basically.
That's all it blocks.
Yeah, it just prevents you from scooping stuff up.
That's underwhelming. In a form. Well, I guess we are getting scoop up cycle.
Well, yeah, we have that. We have Penny. We have Turo. We have Sharon's Care.
So you couldn't like bounce energy or tools either. Interesting. Okay. I don't know why that would matter, but I don't feel like a lot of.
Actually, that would also stop. It would stop Magneton, Holland's Magneton. Right?
Would it stop it, or would it just prevent the energy from going to hand, and the energy would stay?
That's an interesting question. I'd have to ask for a ruling. I'll talk to.
It might be
ruling.
a if so statement, you know.
Yeah, I'll look at the wording. I know the wording for that is probably not quite accurately translated in the first place, but yeah. Anyway, the Milotic seems okay. It's very niche, but
For me, those cards just seem like it's a pretty decent, like the ability on the surface seems like a counter to like Blocklex, right? Blocklex plays Penny, whatever. And like, but the thing is, if you play this down against Blocklex, they're just gonna boss it up, and now it's stuck in the active.
Yeah.
Like,
so
kinda...
Tandem was pointing out that Wacky could be used as a search engine for Swim Freely because the Seeking in Swim Freely exists. So you would just play the
Festival League Goldeen.
Festival League Goldeen
Yeah,
in conjunction with Swim Freely.
That's interesting.
The two gimmicks coming together to try to make a functional deck.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe slightly better than either one by itself.
Maybe.
We'll see. We have Snorant, Glalie, and Frostlass. Glalie has the attack Damage Beat. Does 20 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon, which is okay. And then Frostlass has the ability Freezing Curtain. During Pokemon Checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon in play with an ability, both yours and your opponent's, except any Frostlass.
I actually really like that.
I love this card.
That card's great.
I love it so much. Do I think it's going to be good? To be determined. But I love this card.
I don't. Maybe in like some crazy Frostlass X deck.
Wait, I think you just pair this with Brute Bonnet.
Just play with Brute Bonnet.
There's a Brute Bonnet in a set we'll look at here in a little bit that I think we'll go with it.
I don't know. It is pretty, like, that kind of spread is wild. Especially in a format where most good decks were like very heavily on abilities like Zard. Well, Miraidon's rotated, but
well, the Flaffy did. Miraidon itself still around. But
barely.
It exists. But Freezing Curtain is really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we can make something of it. I like the ability a lot.
I'm glad it's not restricted to Rulebox Pokemon.
I am too, but it's gonna be interesting because in 3-4-5, this Pokemon is gonna be a terror.
Yeah,
and you can pair this up with, I think it's Unified Minds Frostlass, where you can put a bunch of damage counters on it and knock stuff out that way. I like it. It seems good. Frostlass seems good. Like I said, we're gonna look at the Brute Bonnet in a little bit here. I think it's all right. Up next, we have Finizen, Palafin, and Palafin EX. So Finizen is just bulk. Don't worry about that. You're gonna get the other Finizens. Palafin, this one has the ability 0 to Hero, just like that. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may search your deck for a Palafin EX and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. If you switch the Pokemon in this way, shuffle this card into your deck.
I love Stage 1 Pokemon that isn't really a Stage 1 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean it is a Stage 1 Pokemon, but it's not really a Stage 1 Pokemon. Palafin EX, which has the ability Hero Spirit, put this Pokemon into play only with the effect of Palafin's 0 to Hero. Then it has an attack.
Even better.
For a single water energy, it has Giga Impact, which does 250 damage, and it can't attack next turn.
I think it's like so close to being good.
You know what? What makes it not good?
The maximum belt still doesn't knock out a Charizard.
True.
No, it's actually way worse than that. It's the fact that Iron Hands exists.
Yeah, and this thing turns into
A 3 prize easy one shot.
Yeah.
That makes this card so much worse. And to top it off,
HP is
this is a stage 2 Pokemon effectively, but with extra steps.
We should get a Fion that makes water Pokemon have weakness.
Here,
Did.
tell you what, have Christian run that, and I'll run the Turbo Hands. I'll just hit the generators.
Yeah, I know you will.
You'll
hit everyone.
It's not like there's plenty of video proof.
Let me set out the price cards.
But no, I think Palafin's one of those decks that could be really good, but weakness. That's the problem it has.
There's a lot of cards like that, honestly.
It's the same situation that Garchomp's in.
Yeah.
That Garchomp was in.
Garchomp
was so good on a card, but Miraidon was important.
Yeah, the thing is, Miraidon's still in format, but it's more or less a non-issue. But even still, Garchomp sees no play and no success. Because it's not doing enough for what it is. And so nobody wants to play it. We have Iron Bundle. This one, unfortunately, is just not good. It has Interjet, which does 60 damage. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Just not good. Up next, we have Wellspring Mask over Ponyx. We have Sob.
Cry more.
Cry more, literally, right? 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. Defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then for Water Double Colors, Torrential Pump, which does 100 damage. You may shuffle 3 energy attached to this Pokemon into your deck. If you do, this attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon.
Nah.
Yeah, Manaphy makes this really bad.
As long as you have bench barrier of any kind.
Right, that's kind of the problem. And then, like, the damage output for that kind of thing isn't that great anyway.
And it's got a fun weakness.
Yeah, and then Lightning when this goes strikes again.
The only reason Chen Pao is still somewhat viable. It doesn't have the lightning weakness.
Right.
I don't know. I wish. Like, even with a DTE, it's not there.
Yeah. Then we have the Shinx line and the ever popular Luxray that nobody cares about.
I am so excited for that card.
I'm talking about the Pokemon. I don't care for Luxray. Piercing Glare. Your opponent reveals their hand. Choose a card you find there and discard it.
Luxray is actually in my top 5. For
here, the damage there. So yeah, you guys go off on this because you guys are the ones that were excited by this.
So okay,
Ryan was excited by it.
So anybody that knows Luxray V, like it's gonna kind of feel similar to that. Like, yes, I know it's a stage 2-er, but like, come on, for 2 colorless, you can deal at least like 120 damage or 100 with DTE, and you get to discard any card from your opponent's hand. Like, this thing is gonna be, it's what, a 1 retreat?
Yeah, 1 retreat.
Yeah, so just throw the board on it.
Surfing kit.
But here's the problem. It is a stage 2.
Yeah, I realize that.
That's the issue. It's just a stage 2.
It's
You're
gonna,
doing 100 damage
be
with.
another control archetype, just like with the
You're
Pidgeot.
doing 100 damage. You're doing 100 damage, and you have to find a double turbo energy to get to that damage in the first place.
Quick search.
Oh, so you can add another stage 2 in.
Yeah.
Run Rotom V while you're at it.
I want to play. I want to build a deck around it. I'm going to build a deck around it.
I'm sure that some people will enjoy this. We're probably gonna test it, but like I
call dibs on it.
I am not.
You can have it, man.
You can definitely.
Because honestly,
I will wreck your shit with Dragonfall. How's that?
you're not gonna. Don't put Dragapult against it. Like
What? You don't think it can handle it?
no. I'm just saying, like
Airmail's too strong.
Airmail too good. You know what it is? That 60 damage spread. I'm just diva all this shit.
fine. Give me at least hands with it, so I can hit the Jennies.
That defeats the point of it being a Luxray deck.
Put hands in anything, it's a hands deck now.
Ryan just wants to catch the hands. Alright, Amoga has Skywave, does 10 damage, and then 10 damage to each bench Pokemon, both sides. Don't apply weakness or resistance. Basically, it's bad. It does have free retreat, though, so keep an eye out for it for pre-release.
It could be really funny. But like
For pre-release, it's a
Honestly,
oh, you know, actually
we actually also haven't even discussed, like, is the whole set revealed now?
Yes.
We haven't even discussed, like, which ones do we think are going to be the pre-release cards.
No, we'll get to that once we've done the whole set.
You know what's crazy about that Emolga actually?
Mhm.
Zoroark V-Star, Hisuian Zoroark V-Star. That's just instant damage on all your bench Pokemon right there.
It is,
And it's
but
a pivot for the deck.
you gotta get all of them out.
I mean, buddy.
That doesn't work for Pokemon V.
That's why we have Nespal.
Oh, it's so strong, Nispel, so strong. It gets those Pokemon out real quick. You just gotta find all your Nispels. Yeah, that's not good enough. I'm sorry.
No, you just got to find the DTEs unless they're all priced.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just play Gladiator.
All right, our next card is
And private.
Watchel. I will state for the record, I like this art very much.
He's so silly.
He's a cute bird. He has Thunder Shock, does 10 damage for the point if heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And then Kilowattrel, that I also have an error for. That's the gallery thing is not working. Wind Charge, 10 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon's attacks do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness or resistance. We have seen this kind of effect before. There was a Sunflora that did something similar.
It's never been good.
And it was never good. Unfortunately, yes, that is the case. But, you know, I like the Pokemon and its art. It also has Strong Volt for 100 damage and discard an energy from this Pokemon.
There's better Kilowattrel, honestly.
There are significantly better Kilowattrel, yeah. It's just... It's cool.
Yeah. It's Murder Bird.
It is Murder Bird. And you know the crazy thing is in Eternal, you couldn't even, like, surprise Time Machine into the other ones to make it better. Because it would no longer beat that Pokemon when it devolves into Wattrel. So switching back up into Kilowattrel wouldn't give you the benefit.
Oh, for the first attack, yeah.
Yeah, so just as bad in general. Up next is Clefairy and Clefable for Mask of Change. The Clefable has Metronome. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack.
Hey, Gina Maggie.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what it is. And then Magical Shot does 100 damage. So if you feel like doing Geno hacking on a Pokemon that doesn't have an ability, sure.
Honestly, that's kind of cool for a DT.
I mean, the attack cost isn't bad. It's just like really niche. And on a Pokemon that doesn't see any play because nothing else related to it's any good.
I mean, isn't the Clefairy from Lost Origin a thing?
That isn't really a deck, unfortunately.
Well, you could make it one and run that Clefable.
I'll just keep on Clefable for it, though.
Look, in the mythical fairyland situation that we're talking about.
In the mythical fairyland, just run Xerneas.
Just run Rainbow Road, man.
Rainbow Road. Alright, we have Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam.
Quick, someone file a lawsuit.
All
No,
right.
that's
Alakazam
finished.
Alakazam has the attack Strange Hack for 1 psychic. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Move any number of damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon to their other Pokemon in any way you like. And Psychic for 10 plus. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. Not gonna lie, I do like this Alakazam. I don't think it's competitive,
No.
but it's cool.
Why
It
do they
reminds
put all
me
the
of-
cool attacks on stage 2s?
And what's funny too is this has been on a basic before.
Like that exact one?
That exact
With the confusion and all?
Not confusion. This part here.
I know that one's been on Tapu Lele.
That's Tapu Lele right there.
But like with the first part.
Yeah, I mean the confusion is just kind of an added benefit for it being a stage 2. But the fact that you can just like rearrange the damage on your opponent's side of the board, that's pretty busted.
Oh, I missed a KO on Zard.
Oh look, some damage from Frostlass. Here, feel the pain.
Say blah.
So yeah, I don't know. Alakazam's cool. Maybe if we get like a good Alakazam EX at some point in the future, it's not happening. But maybe if we do, maybe. And
Sure, some people
Shinji
still
Kanda
Pokemon.
appreciation.
Then we have Chimecho, which has Hyper Voice doing 20 damage, and Homecoming Chime. Shuffle one of your bench Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck.
The ult for this card is so pretty.
It is cool.
It is so pretty.
You know the Watchel though.
I don't think I've seen the Watch one.
Oh, the Watchel though.
Do you have them at the bottom?
They are in. They're on the other page. We'll look at them at the end. So Chimecho. I think Chimecho's not terrible. Like I can see it technically being like a tech for a really bulky deck or something. Like as a one of.
Where's the Luna?
Let me
There's-
shuffle back in my fully powered iron.
I'm going to preserve my energy by putting everything back into the deck. All right, we have Swirlix. This is yet again a Festival Lead Pokemon, so we'll skip rereading the attack, or the ability rather, but we are going to read the attack. It has Sneaky Placement for a single sec energy. Put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon.
He's so sneaky.
He's Nick.
Is that Ken Sugimori?
The artists?
Is that a?
It is
Oh no,
Akira-
it's not. Okay, I thought it was like that sort of.
No. And then like Slurpuff's Licky Lick is just not good coin flip attack.
Yo, lick you lick though.
Licky Lick. We have Sandygast and Palisand. These guys are also bulk, unfortunately.
Man, they
the,
didn't make a good Sandy, guys.
or a good Palisand for that matter. They're just never good.
I love that Pokemon.
I like them too. I like both of them, but they're just
Their
not
shinies
good.
are so pretty.
They are just bulk. They're not good at all. We have Monkey Dory and Pheasantipity for Massive Change. Adrenaline Brain. This Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to make use of this ability. Once during your turn, move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I mean, maybe it'll see some play as like a math fixer, but
Roaring Moon doesn't want it. It's already taking out KOs, so it's not leaving.
right. And Baby Roaring Moon, like the deck or Ancient Box, even doesn't survive getting hit anyway.
Yeah, so like, I don't think there's really any. other
And Darkrai is a non-deck right now,
Yeah, unfortunately.
so there's just nothing that would want this. And so you basically have to have like a Rainbow Energy or like Legacy Energy. We'll see later, in order to take advantage of this. But like,
That's so not worth it.
that's really not great. Yeah. Like in theory, it's pretty good. In practice, I don't know. I think it's worth it. It's just so niche. If there's another deck out there that has darkness type and is like reasonably good, but is maybe missing some KOs, I could see it playing this. Like Pecharunt, when we get Pecharunt, I fully expect it to be dark type. And if it is, I could see maybe that deck wanting to play this Monkey Dory.
Maybe. I don't even know what Pecharunt might do.
I mean, it's a poison type Pokemon. This is why it's probably gonna be dark type. Because it's, what is it, Poison Ghost or Poison something?
I mean, like, its whole lore, right, is that it takes control of people and Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, like, is it gonna be, like, a copying attacks thing? Is it gonna be, like, what is it?
Or is it just gonna be like do whatever the TCG wants to do with it kind of thing? Because they do that all the time too.
Yeah.
It seems like, so I would get, like, when Twilight Masquerade comes out, I would say get some, because it's worth having in my hand just in case. And they're gonna be bulk because they're literally just hollow rares, so have them. But yeah, it's not an obviously crazy good card at the gate. How's that? Serendipity also exists. It has the ability Adrenaline Pheromones. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks and this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. So this is a basic version of Ambipom or Pokemon Go, right?
Yeah.
Because even Energy Feathers is basically the same idea, right? 30 times damage. This type does 30 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. It's a similar kind of thing where you're just doing a multiplier of 30. You would, like, I could see somebody saying, oh, you would play this in Guardy. It's like, no, just play Screamtail, play Drifloon. They're better.
Play a different card.
Play a different card, yeah. The only big advantage to this is the darkness energy thing that lets you potentially save this from being knocked out. But
Sure.
yeah, that's a big thing. I don't know if it's enough.
It'd be cool if we got like a unit energy, a new unit energy that was like had psychic and dark on it.
We have Sand Slash that has Earthquake for 120 and does 10 damage each of your bench Pokemon. Unfortunately, this is just bulk.
Yeah.
It's bulk. Then we have Timber, Girder, and Conkeldurr. Fun fact, my least favorite Pokemon, aside from Enamorus, is Girder.
Specifically Girder?
Specifically Girder. Because it is the dumbest Pokemon name that exists. So, there's that.
Even dumber than like Moth.
Yeah. Dude, Girder is literally "der" in the name. Like, come on.
I mean, Girder's an actual word.
It's stupid.
Okay.
Name is stupid.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't like
It
that
also is
Pokemon either,
horribly
but
ugly.
that whole line's ugly.
Yes, it is. I agree. I don't like any of the line, but that one in particular is like the worst.
I heard someone pronounce Conkeldurr as Conkeldurr, and I can't ever get that out of my head when I see it now.
Anyway, so, but the flip side to that is Conkeldurr is not bad. It has Tantrum, which does 80 damage and then confuses itself. And then it has Gutsy Swing, which does 250 damage. But if this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack costs. Yeah, just throw it, poison it, or use it or something, and then go down.
Usually, it's not. You just move on.
I mean, just play it with
You could run a
Mechanical
no
Arm.
energy deck.
Mechanical Arm. I would. It seems good. Like, 250 is decent. Yes, you have to like poison yourself and stuff.
That's not hard to do.
But like your Pokemon's gonna get knocked out anyway. And then you're doing 250 on a good type, like it's a good weakness.
If you weren't KOing Iron Hands before, you definitely are now.
It's very dead now because you're gonna hit it for 500. You're getting a special condition should not be that hard. It is in stage 2, which sucks.
I heard some people saying we need a Karina reprint.
I mean, Karina would be really nice though,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like Aridus still in the format.
If Karina gets reprinted, that Greninja goes so crazy. Actually,
The one next, yeah, best comes to things. So anyway, Conkeldurr, we'll probably end up testing it because it seems okay. That's what I'm saying. It seems okay.
yeah, it's alright. It's nothing crazy.
Then we have Glimmet and Glimmora. Glimmora has Venoshock, so it can do 130 if your opponent's Pokemon's poison. Not so great. Next up, we have Okidogi. It has Adrenaline Power. If this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to it, it gets 100 extra HP.
And its attacks do 100 more.
Its attacks do 100 more. Okidogi seems okie dokie. The attack cost is great, but doing 170 for
Does that stack
really.
on TMs?
it says it's attacks. It doesn't say attacks. It says it's attacks. So I would assume that means TMs included.
Oh, it specifies active Pokemon. That's lame.
Yeah,
I was gonna
they-
say you
they would
can't just
still
200 damage blindside somebody.
200 damage blindside would be great.
If that was the case, then that card's freaking great.
Yeah, Tandem is saying Conkeldurr is pretty nice. It plays just like Charizard. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it plays quite as nicely as Charizard, but it is pretty good, I think, still.
Do a 380 Crisis Punch.
Be gone, Satan!
Yeah.
Right. No, Okidoki is probably okay. I don't know what
It's
use
the
it has.
best of the three.
Yeah, I think it is too. I just don't know what use it has. That's the
It's
problem.
the whole. Its energy cost is awkward for what it wants. That was the only.
Yeah, two fighting is real weird because fighting just has crap for
It's
acceleration.
got Gutsy Pickaxe. Smile.
It has something else.
Although
What was-
Gutsy Pickaxe with ciphers isn't crazy.
it
too
has
crazy
no.
a
It has
thing
something
anymore.
else. What was it?
Garganacle.
Garganical. There's something else still,
Uh,
isn't there? It's another Pokemon.
I don't know.
We've used it recently too. It's like fighting another type that it does. Is it fighting in fire?
oh, Infernape.
Yes, it's Infernape. I mean, that's already two types, which is
Yeah.
not great, but you could accelerate with it. So there's that.
If you really want.
If you really want to. Cornerstone Mask, Ogerpon EX prevents all damage from attacks on this Pokemon by words. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability.
I think this is the best of the Ogre.
Yes, I agree with you. I think this is the best of all of them. It
That
seems
ability is
good.
actually really, really nice.
It is. And then you have Demolish, which does 140 damage. This attacks damage. Is not affected by weakness or resistance or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So basically, this is 140 damage shred, which means it cuts right through Mimikyu. Which, that's also pretty good, frankly. I think the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, like I was saying, is definitely the best of all of them. What deck it's going to be played in, that remains to be seen. I just don't know that it fits into anything in particular, except maybe something like Lost Box, perhaps. But Lost Box
what's in Lost Box?
Lost Box might maybe run it, perhaps, because it's just immune to everything that has an ability. But at the same time, like, I don't know that Lost Box cares enough.
Not stand for the burger hate.
So up next we have Poochyena and Mychena. Mychena has Pack Outing. This attack does 90 damage for each of your benched Mychena, which I think is pretty decent because you can hit a high number. It's like 30 damage plus, so you can get up to 300 just by having 3 Mychena in play on your bench.
That's crazy.
Hyper Aroma.
Wait,
Right.
the Mightyena?
Yeah. So Pack Outing says you do 30 damage,
Uh-huh.
and then for each of your benched Mychena, you do 90 more.
That's
That's 300 damage.
really good.
It is really good, and it's for 1 energy on a stage 1.
That's
Dude,
not,
that's like that's eternal too.
It is.
yeah, because you can have the Ditto in there, and then like save the Puchienas for actual damage output.
Well, Ditto just basics though, right?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying,
Phantom
what I'm saying is evolve from the
Prism.
Ditto Prism.
Yeah,
Sorry, the Ditto Prism to evolve to Mightyena, and then
You
Have the
have to
Puchienas.
do Phantom transformation.
I brought that up, yesterday.
it good.
I do.
Oh, is this the Maniana that you were building for Eternal?
No, it was it for standard. It's
Oh.
the Wednesday video.
Mhm.
It didn't do well, but it also had kind of a rough go because it prized a 1/1 line my in line, and then on top of that, Iron Hens got set up very quickly, and it didn't
Small.
appreciate that
You put it against Turbo Hands.
against
Iron Thorns EX, but Iron Thorns EX Future Box version,
Okay.
which runs Iron Hands. So Iron Thorns is like taking a back seat while Iron Hands is all the work.
Okay. So this,
Basically.
honestly, this brings up an interesting question. Are first prizers just gonna suffer because Iron Hands?
Single prizers?
Yeah, so like a single prize decks overall.
I mean,
We've seen it with
They
the
kinda
decline of
have.
Lost Box.
Lost Box itself has fallen off because of Iron Hands.
Ancient Box.
The Ancient Box is still around.
Ancient Box has enough health. that
Ancient
it
Box
can-
has enough health.
That's what it is, though, is the health. Because it can,
Plus, Iron Crowns is weak to the moon.
Yeah.
yeah. Although to be fair, like you can get there numbers wise with
It's not as
Ampy
hard.
very much. So like either way, it's kind of a struggle for single prizers. And then we have Venipede, Swirlipede, and Scolipede. Unfair game. Put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. So, if you
This is literally your wheezing.
if you feel like paying dark colorless instead of triple colorless for this effect in standard, here's your guy. It'll be a stage 2 instead of a stage 1, but have at it.
Counter energy.
And then we mentioned earlier Brute Bonnet. This is Brute Bonnet with Poison Spray. It immediately poisons.
We need to use it in something.
It immediately poisons your opponent's active Pokemon
Love
with
it.
the attack.
Mhm.
And then here's the real good stuff here. For 3 darkness energy, you have Rattling Strike. It does 50 plus damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon.
Hmm.
I was just thinking right now. Remember, I couldn't think of a use for that damage counter mover.
Mm-hmm.
On Okie Dokie. Or on Monkey Man.
Monkey Dory.
Monkey Dory.
When you were going monkey, I was
So
like,
think about
Gear
it.
5?
Okay.
If you have like, I don't know, the other Brute Bonnet can play like one of them or whatever, right?
The poison one.
The poison one, right? To do some extra damage in. That's gonna have an ability. The damage will pile up on it, and you can just use it to move it off. You'll also get damage on the Monkey Dory, so you can take turns bouncing the damage off of those two to get extra damage in play.
Yes, that does-
I would have. Do you think having that attack for 2 darkness would be ideal or too good?
Too good.
Too good. As it is now, it's not that bad though.
Mhm.
You have Dark Patch, you have Saga,
Sagas.
you have Manual Attach.
So, I mean, honestly, this reminds me a lot of that Sableye that used to go into Eternatus and stuff. Like, just
You're
how
talking
on the
about
depth.
Sableye V?
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's the same kind of attack.
it's just one of those like, oh, you have 3 damage. Let me turn that into 200, 250 and stuff.
That Sableye should hit like a truck.
So
Everybody's like, oh, it's 4 damage counters. No! Stop!
plus this is a basic Pokemon you can literally put down and like, oh, I'm just gonna power it up in one turn. Like you said, Dark Patch, Sadas, maybe an energy switch or something or a manual attachment, and boom, it's ready to go. You can surprise your opponent out of nowhere. with
Yeah,
it.
I do like the Brute Bonnet, and I do like the Frostlass. I think they work really well together, and I think maybe Monkey Dory comes with it. Like,
It should have had 4 retreat.
This is why
oh, if
we
it had
have
4 retreat, chef's kiss.
Oh,
It would have been one of the better decks in the format. I
It's
do
really
hate
fun.
though. I do hate that it has 120 HP.
That's a weird
I wish
number.
it were 130.
we get there to 190 or
No, because
yeah.
That means they need no
so-
modifiers to get there, which sucks. Because they can just immediately one-shot you and get the extra prize card off of it.
Although if you're running the other Brute Bonnet, you're running the capsule, so
Probably, yeah. So,
I mean, you're running the capsule anyway in any ancient deck, really, right?
yeah, but it's not really an ancient deck. It's a Frostlass, Brute Bonnet kind of thing.
I see.
does Frostlass target all Pokemon with abilities?
Except Frostlass.
I thought it was just your opponent's Pokemon.
That's what I was saying. You wait for him to
So
the
what's-
kind of pile up on your side.
So what's
and
your
move him over.
let's do the math here. What's your ideal amount of counters you want on a V or a V Max or a V Star? So like if you want to hit 280. So if they have 5 counters, that
5 makes it 300.
okay. What about 4?
4 is 250.
250. So 250 hits the V.
250, and then if you have the Monkey Dory, you just move 3 damage counters and make it 280.
Mhm. Okay, I mean it's still decent for again. It's a basic single prizer, hitting for 250 if you have 4 counters on it. So
And
yeah.
theoretically, if you have Frostlass and play that 4, those 4 damage counters will come real quick.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I'm trying to think of like anything in Eternal that could have used that. Oh, no.
Masco Change Skarmory exists. Laren, Aggron.
That's my
They
reaction.
exist. Heatran exists.
Yeah,
I will read this
not
one
bad.
though, it's slightly better. Heatran has the ability Incandescent Body. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out. In fact, the attacking Pokemon is now burned. And then you have Steel Burst for Metal Double Colorless. 50 times damage, discard all metal attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each card you discard on this.
Yeah, never mind. I remember it because I was literally thinking about it. It was decent, especially with like Metal Maker coming and like being around, but the output's just not there. Like wasting that much energy attachments or
You
energy.
need 6 energy to get it to be decent for damage output for.
Especially with a 4 retreat cost.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hey,
that does mean you can move the energy with heavy baton.
Energy.
What
doesn't matter
energy?
anymore.
I know that's the joke.
Metal Maker never hits.
Metal. We have Rubber Room.
Metal faker.
Rubber Room for a single color's energy has Rally Back, which does 30 damage, and if any of your opponents, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an opponent, I can't talk today. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon during their last turn, this attack does 90 more damage, so you're doing 120 if it was knocked out last turn for 1 energy. And then for Metal Double Colorless, Running Charge is 100 damage. Flip a coin until you get tails. You already know it's good when I say that. This attack does 100 damage for each heads.
So 0.
Exactly. Like,
Somehow it goes negative.
why are you healing? My favorites from this set. All right. 3P, Dracloak, and Dragapult. Normally we would skip the stage 1 and stage 2. However, we have Dracloak, which has the ability Reconnaissance Raid, also known as Airmail, also known
I think he
as...
spelled airmail wrong.
There's a Pokepower that it's named after too, though, right?
Really? I don't
I'm trying to
remember.
remember, and I can't remember anymore. I remember
Where's it
before.
on?
Huh?
What's
Who's it on?
I can't remember. I'm too tired to remember.
I only know it as Airmail, honestly. If there is another one, I can't remember.
You see level X.
Oh, trade off.
Trade off. Yes, trade off.
Snowman. You should have known.
Yeah, this is Gen 4. Come on, man.
So give me my
No, anyway. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one of them into your hand, put the other on the bottom of your deck. This ability is stupid good. It's so good. I love it so much. I am looking forward to playing Dragapult EX in Eternal because you have access to Double Dragon Energy. You have access to bringing Mysterious Treasure. Like,
These are
it's so
going to be in
good.
Twilight Masquerade, right?
They're going to be Twilight Masquerade, yes.
So we're banning
Is
Double
this-
Dragon.
Is this what you're bringing
No.
this is what you're bringing to NA?
No, I'll bring this. I mean,
Dragapult?
maybe. Bring it as my deck for, like, side events and stuff.
Nah, you just straight up run Dracloak. There's no Dragapult in the deck.
It's just
like, I
Dracloak.
just want to airmail as much as
I just-
possible.
I literally just want to play.
All your
But-
draw engines
To
are
get all of it's just a 4/4 Dracloak line. And then 56 energy. Or, well, not 56, 52 energy.
Honestly, that card's like super good in Eternal too. It might make some like Dragapult decks come out because it's level ballable.
It's lovable too.
And
It's so good.
So I was gonna ask, like, is there a better Dragapult in Eternal?
There. Yeah, trade off. Let's do this one.
Late there, buddy.
He took a second, but so that whole conversation happened. One of the
It's
players,
pretty though.
one of the players that's here with me talking, actually has UC level X on him, so he wanted to bring it out to show it. Anyway,
Pretty.
so Dracloak, very good ability. We also have Dragapult EX, which is kind of the start of the show. For a single color's energy, it has Jet Headbutt doing 70 damage,
Boom.
and then the thing is Phantom Dive, which does 200 damage, and then put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like.
It's really good. And wait,
It
isn't
is
that kind of what the VMAX did?
Terrifying. It's exactly the same kind of thing that VMAX did.
Mhm.
I adore this card. That Dragapult VMAX was one of the only VMAXs that was very fair, but still very strong.
And it gave
Hi.
up 3 prizes. This one gives up 2 prizes.
I know. And you know what?
You know what also
It has
is
a
a
one
fair
retreat
VMAX?
cost, that means you couldn't use rescue board with it.
Oh.
I like it so
You
much.
you know what else was a fair VMAX?
Hmm?
You know what else was a fair VMAX?
Hmm.
You.
Okay, hear me out. God, I forgot the name of it. What's that aspect nobody wants?
Neo Upper?
Neo Upper Energy!
No.
Hey,
No, literally no.
single attachment.
It would be a single attachment, but no. No, Dragapult is good though. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to see play. The fact that you could like spread all the damage and then just devolve everything too, like that's terrifying.
What-
Throw the brute bonnet at them. Throw the brute bonnet at
No,
them.
you just set up a couple.
Oh, okay. So hear me out. So are we doing damage modifiers to get to the 220, 230 threshold, or are you waiting out the next turn and somehow shifting that damage over?
You don't even need to shift it. You literally just so you hit into something in the active, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you don't knock it out. Say it's an Iron Hands, right? You have was it 30 extra HP still,
Yeah, 230.
right? You have those 6 damage counters, so you're gonna spread them on something on the bench, switch something else out, and then take 2 knockouts at once. So now not only are you not getting hit by Iono, you're taking 4 prizes cards at once.
So what
on
you're
the
telling me
following
is to
turn.
run Scoop Up Cyclone.
No, what we're telling you is to
Super
run
Cyclone would
Prime
work well with
Catcher.
Dragon Bolt, probably.
Well,
No.
I'm saying like me against Dragon Ball. I'm
Yeah.
scooping up Cyclone.
Like the biggest problem that Dragon Ball has is that attack cost. We're gonna have to figure out a way to work around.
What
that
is it?
cost.
Fire
Fire Psychic.
Psychic.
Last box.
I mean, you could Lost Box it, but no,
No, I don't think so.
that's awkward.
But again, in Eternal, you have double dragon energy, and I just
I think in Eternal it has potential. I don't.
in Eternal it might be
No.
like up there with like Urshifu.
I don't know about.
Everybody's gonna
We're
start
gonna-
running Jirachi
We're gonna 100% gonna make it work. Jirachi's not gonna do anything.
and Eternal.
How is that gonna help?
Prevents the... Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, it only protects from basics.
Yeah, I
Much
get
troll.
It's not a basic.
Machoke smile.
You know what? You just play this with Garbodor because you would shut the abilities
It's
off.
one
too.
of each though. It doesn't feel that awkward.
You could run greens. with
Like
it.
even if you're like I mean you have multiple
You
Dragon
would
Balls
run-
out.
I
Right?
Is
see
this,
you
is
running
this
the
the
Executor.
Hold My Beard and Necrozma
Yeah.
Right?
situation?
Yeah, because okay, so you essentially accelerate one and touch the other.
That's
That's
another
it.
deck that
You
fucking
just need-
destroys Necrozma.
This-
Yes.
Oh, this ruins Necrozma's day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Necrozma hates this. But no, I think, especially in Eternal, this is absolutely a great.
What's
deck.
its HP?
320, which isn't bad either.
Yeah.
Keeps it in range.
Yeah.
of
Imagine
future
this with
buffs,
free
yeah.
retreat cost.
I think in Eternal, you probably run it with U-turn board, or well, no, you probably run on one of U-turn board for Dragon Bolt in case you need it. But you'd probably still run Float Sense because you're going to run it with Garbodor.
I'd still maybe honestly with Defiant Band hitting for 230 and the 60 being spread, I like it. I like it, but you have to be behind in prizes.
I think you can get there though.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's really good.
Okay.
It's a
So-
it's a play from behind deck, but it's still very
So
good.
again, Prime Catcher, is it still default, or because you can hit 250 with this thing, do you go max spell?
Prime
Is Max
Catcher.
Belt good enough? Or you just
I
use-
mean,
just
No,
run
if
the-
you're hitting
I think
two-
you just run the Prime
I
Catcher.
think you just run the Prime Catcher because it's another way to switch their active. Because if you don't take a knockout on something, you're gonna hit into it and then switch.
so the biggest problem Dragon Ball will run into is people essentially healing / picking up their Pokemon,
Yes.
because obviously
Yeah.
you want them for it to keep.
So if they're running Turo, that's a problem for Dragon.
It's almost like they printed a Milotic for that exact reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. There we go. I'm assuming we're in the Dragons. I missed the Melodic.
Right.
Right.
My luck, yeah.
Yeah, it prevents you from picking up anything from the field.
prevents scoop up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, it's good. Dragon Ball, it will see play.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be tier 1? I don't know, but it'll see play. It's good.
Will it beat Charizard? Probably not.
Okay, talking about great cards.
Talking about a tier
Yay.
1 card.
This is entire.
It's mute, but for supporters.
This card's so good,
This card's really
actually.
good. Okay, so attract customers. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter card you find there, and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. This is basically a slightly worse version of Pokegear as an ability.
Okay.
That's
Is this
crazy.
is Mew for items or Tatsugiri for supporters? Which one's better? I know doing two different things. I'm saying
Personally, I think Tatsugiri is better.
because you're pulling the supporter.
You're playing a supporter. Supporters are always so strong. Like, I think it's actually genuinely worth it.
Tatsugiri for Arvin for Prime Catcher, and for Steel Stone.
So I mean, okay. So you know what? Now that I think about it, because we always used to use Mew specifically to get us when we are dead drawing. We're trying to look for
Does
something.
it have to be an
Well,
active?
right?
Mew's main purpose back when it was used was to find Battle VIP past turn 1 to
Mhm.
make sure that you guaranteed setup. So
That's rotated.
Well, what I'm saying is like also if you're dead drawing, a supporter gets you out of dead draw.
yeah, it does, and it's a really important one. That could be
You don't know.
I don't know. That could be research. That could be.
It's a 1 retreat cost, right?
It is a one. It is a one because it's probably not going to survive getting hit, but like it's still good.
Yeah, dude.
I could see Charizard running it. I could see a lot of stuff running.
A
this
lot
card.
of decks run this for sure.
100%. I want to see this as a pre-release promo.
I can see it.
I
can see
100% want to see this as a pre-release promo.
It's like a good utility card. Yeah, I can see that.
Can we have airmail as a pre-release promo?
You know, that's probably one too.
This
The
whole,
drop
all the pre-release promos are gonna be like mid-stage. We're gonna get like.
Well,
Grookey.
again, Lucario was a promo, right? So
Yeah, okay, so it could be Grookey, Tatsugiri, Dracloak, and something else.
I think the drag cloak will be one.
I think
Yeah.
all 3 of those will.
I mean, we were right last time.
And then Chansey.
okay, so I'm assuming wait, Farfetch is massive change, right?
Yes, Farfetch and Chansey.
So
and
I was reading this card and I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty good. On to Farfetch. Never mind.
Yeah. So the ability is Sonic Duty. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a Pokemon tool card
said
and
duty.
attach it to this Pokemon.
Right there.
Then
That's where it goes wrong.
shuffle your deck. Yes, it starts out so strong and then falls apart.
Me after I have Popeyes.
Imagine if there's no way to like shift a tool onto a different Pokemon from one Pokemon to another, right? Not
Non-standard.
no.
No.
But that would like again. It feels like
It's
you're
called
reading
Thornton.
it. Yeah, there you go. You Thornton Farfetch into something else. User supporter just
This
to get
card is fart fetch. It stinks. All right.
We agree.
Chansey has Lucky Attachment. Attach a basic energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. And I just saw.
Whoa.
Okay. Boundless Power does 80 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can't attack. And then Blissey EX is everybody's favorite switch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Pokemon's podcast if you didn't get that joke. Once in your turn, you may move a basic energy card from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon.
I like it.
What do you think, Dragapult Blissey?
I don't,
No.
No.
Don't.
but as I think we've discussed before, the fact that you're playing Blissey X, I like it as its own deck, and you're playing the Chansey. I think it was from 151, right?
151.
From 151, yeah.
That again, you're gonna be playing a Chansey anyway. You're ignoring the one from this set, and the other one can sometimes grant you free prizes.
Hey guys. It has 4 retreat.
It does have 4 retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use the heavy baton. So Tandem here is saying, if I ever play a Tatsugiri to regionals, I'm announcing seduce customers, which isn't very good.
Is that the actual
No, it's attract customers is the actual translation.
Oh.
Because
We have the
English
English,
one,
the
right?
English
Yeah.
one, yeah, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I translated it exactly as they did. And then he says Thwacky, Iron Leaves, Chandelier, and Okidogi. I don't see Chandelier.
Chandy?
I don't see Chandelier. And Okidogi I don't see either. I don't think they're gonna do just one of the lousy 3. I don't see that happening. And then Blissey is also the attack return. Does 180 damage. You can draw cards and you have 6.
So you could.
I was gonna say, I mean, they did just Murkrow for United Wings as a pre-release, so I don't see why they wouldn't do.
But the Murkrow is
Right, but
a part of an archetype, not part of a trio.
Yeah, it's not part of a trio though.
It's a trio of Watchful, Flamingo, and
It's not a
Murkrow.
trio. That's the part of an archetype
As much
thing
as
I
I-
see happening. They could do that with
That's
Thwacky,
money.
and I think they will do that with Thwacky, but I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna do that. And then we have Ambipom with Wicked Tail.
Ooh.
When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may flip 2 coins.
So
Actually, though, hold on.
yeah.
For each head, choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals that card and shuffles it into their deck.
See, shuffle to the deck, fine, and everything. I'm gonna be hitting both tails anyway, and it's a once. I play it once and it's done thing.
No, you just Sharon's it back up and do it again.
What's a card they need to reprint like Super Scoop of to be decent?
I think it's
It's
fine.
called was it Scoop Up Cyclone.
Oh yeah, you're one of a spec. We're gonna use it on Ambipom.
Hey, he just said you picked it up with Sharon's care.
We have Ducklet and Swan with your bulk, unfortunately. And then for the trainer cards, we have Bug Catcher set.
Never heard of it.
Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 in any combination of grass Pokemon and basic grass energy. Find there and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Is this grass type new? I haven't seen it in any top lists or anything like that.
Oh no, grass type is just one of those things they throw in when they feel like adding some bulk to a set.
It's like
Gotcha.
Snowlands.
Okay.
Magic.
You know what's funny is though? I mean, it is the most common type in the video game, and I think in the TCG also.
I don't think that's true.
In the video game,
yeah, it's 100% true.
I thought water was.
yeah. Mm-mm.
Water's up
I
there
thought
too.
water was by
Water's up there.
Mm-mm.
It's
Except
water and grass.
grass first and water second. Fire, funny enough, is like not that
Fire is
common.
pretty low. No,
Like,
fire's pretty rare.
There was one region where like there was like 5 fire types.
Yeah, Unova is yet another reason that generation sucks. Anyway.
Chandelure though.
All right, Carmine. Mask of Change, Carmine. If you go first, you may play this card during your first turn. Discard your hand and draw 5 cards. This card is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially with Luminion in format.
Hold on.
Like,
Carmine's so good.
there is no way Ancient Box doesn't play at least one of these.
Yeah.
Because you're going to play Gears anyway. You might as well try to hit it.
But you can play it on your first
Going first, yes. It's so good.
Sorry, I know I probably missed this one before I came in. There was another card that allows you to like. There was a card. Was it a Volbeat or something like that, or Illuminese that also allows you to like attack on your first turn?
It
was a setup card?
Mise.
Yeah. No, it was the Volbeat because the Illuminese.
Volbeat lets you do the double. It's like a call for friendly, basically.
Yeah, but you can use it on your first turn going first. Yeah,
It's like one birdier.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was a decent one.
All right, it's water.
By how much?
Water has 159. Normal second at 132.
This card is going to be so fun.
This
And then grass is 3 at 129.
So must have changed with the new generation.
Yeah.
This is
I
as
agree.
of September last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's changed with the new
It's-
generation.
We're probably going off all
Ice
data.
has the least.
Yeah, ice is rare. And then
Rare the dragon?
Yeah, dragons. Let's see. Dragons 15.
up next
So,
is Fable
more things.
Flute.
Fairy probably.
Fable Flute. Reveal the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and put any number of basic Pokemon you find there on your opponent's bench. Your opponent shuffles the other cards back into their deck.
Hey, you remember Erica's perfume?
Yeah, this is way worse.
Snorlax.
It's worse, but
Snorlax.
yeah.
Snorlax.
Like, this card will probably see play, but I don't know how good it actually is. Because, like, you're banking on them having Pokemon in their deck toward the top of their deck that are basic. Like,
I mean, okay, so but you also get to manipulate whether you want those Pokemon on your bench or not, right?
no, because you're revealing them and then
It says any number.
any number, I guess you could do 0.
You can do
It is not
0,
up to.
1. Yeah. So again, the wording doesn't really. I'm sure we'll get a ruling on it specifically, but any number would presume like I
Any
choose
number
0,
would mean
1, 2,
0 is
3,
possible.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you get to choose? Like, if I choose 1, does your opponent get to choose which one? If there's
No,
multiple,
you're choosing them.
yeah, and that's what I mean. So I said, does it say you choose or it says put any number of basic Pokemon? See, it's not clear enough. Like, I think that the wording hopefully leaves something. to be
Reveal
said.
the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and put them. It's telling you to do it.
Okay, so then you put any number of basic.
You are
Pokemon.
putting any number
Okay.
on their deck. Yes. It's very clear. What are you talking about?
Could be clearer.
Reading comprehension.
Could be clearer.
This guy has no reading comprehension.
It's called
A typical TCG player can't read.
RTFC.
you're an English teacher. What kind of sentence is that?
It's a run on.
It's the one where like the U is implied or whatever.
It's a weak reference. There's grammar rules. A weak reference. Essentially, when you're essentially referencing something that's not clearly
Please
stated.
judge him
Just-
harshly.
He didn't. What he's saying is it didn't cite its sources.
Yeah, pretty much. MLA.
It's not
MLA.
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 This has nothing to do with it.
I know.
Festival grounds from change. Each Pokemon that has any energy attached can't be affected by any special conditions. Remove any special conditions affecting this Pokemon.
Santi's rolling in his grave.
Is not dead.
Not dead yet. No, Festival Grounds will see play. I think it'll even see play in Eternal, ironically, which is weird.
I'm playing Steel Shelter, so of course that's
yeah,
it's
true.
play.
If you're gonna play Steel Shelter, this is just better, pretty much. So. Then we also have Handy Circulator. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by its opponent's attack, even if it's knocked out, move an energy attached to the attack from the move an energy attached to the attacking Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon.
Okay, before we get to the actual effect, that name.
Oh,
Well, who translated this?
You should
I
have.
translated it.
You should have heard him earlier when he was trying to
Yes,
say
it's
Monkey
literally
Dory.
what it is. It's handy. It's something you have to hand.
It's not Handsy. Handsy's.
He doesn't realize that handy doesn't have just that meaning.
Are you sure?
Yes. It has this other meaning that is much more
My
common.
handy dandy notebook. You ever seen Blue's Clues?
Let's say that
Nah, he's
Steve
too
and
old.
him are intimately familiar.
Bro,
Oh, I'm sorry, but we actually did not go over the effects.
Okay, we did, but basically, if you're attacked and you have this attached, you get to move an energy attached to that Pokemon that attacked you to something else.
Is it enough disruption?
I actually think it's not bad. I don't know if it'll see play, but it's pretty decent.
It's up there with Curse Duster.
Yeah,
We can put stuff from Charizard onto Bibarel, right?
yeah.
And then like once
You
that
might
Charizard's
be-
on there. I mean, honestly, when you get rid of energy off Charizard, it has a hard time recovering that energy back.
Well, yeah, and it's gonna,
It runs a whole 6
It's-
energy nowadays.
yeah, it's gonna run more energy to deal with it, and then it'll be fine. And then Circulator will just drop back off, and the energy will go back down, and then
It'll be one of
the
those cards where people will run one tournament with it, and people will
It's-
start to tag
It's the
for it.
Decidueye effect, where it sees play, people will counter it. It sees play, people will counter it in a loop, right?
I want of in a very specific turn.
It would have to be. It would have to be a deck that needs an answer to something like that. And right now, I don't know what needs that answer. How's that?
Throw it in Snorlax.
Yeah, there you go.
Castle for Mask of Change. You play this. You can play this card only if your Pokemon. I'm gonna use words. You can play this card only if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck and put 3 of them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Is it worth it?
No. I just wish they had reprinted Teammates.
Teammates and Standard goes so crazy, though, actually.
So you just want teammates back?
This is just a way worse version of Teammates.
Agreed.
It's yeah, you get 3 cards, but you only get to look at the top
I
8.
don't know if Standard could handle Teammates.
I think teammates would break standard.
I agree. I think that's true.
I mean, Standard doesn't have Versus Seeker, so would it though?
I mean,
I still think
we have
it's too powerful.
Palpad.
Pal pads.
You get a Starburst every time your opponent you get knocked out. Well, as long as you have it in hand, I guess.
Look, I don't think it's that listed. I don't.
I mean, Raihan saw it.
You want to give it to Ryan? He'll end up with a teammates every single turn. Versus Seeker be damned.
Ryan wins NAIC with Teammates.
I mean, I would give my invite. I would give my invite to Worlds.
Jamming Tower for Master Change. Pokemon tool cards in play, both yours and your opponents, have no effect.
Why did we skip
This
the
card,
expect?
this card makes me happy and scares me at the same time.
Do you know what this card makes me think?
They thought
Just
Forest Seal was a
reprint
mistake.
Lysander Lab instead of creating a new card with the same damn effect.
So, why did we skip the expect?
It's from not from the right site.
Wait, is it?
It's from Crimson.
Crimson Haze.
Oh, okay.
We're skipping cards from Crimson Haze and going straight to Master Change
But
stuff.
was it revealed when we did the last Crimson
Yes, it
Haze?
was.
Huh.
Yeah, because I remember talking about how I thought it was bad.
Because wasn't it revealed with the BDSM gear?
I know separately, but it's so much. Anyway, Jamming Tower is a disappointment to me. I wish I'd just reprinted Lysander Lab. It does the same thing.
I like that card and I hate that card.
So, okay,
'Cause
like,
it makes Aspect
brings up a good topic to talk about
No,
real
this
quick.
just
Like,
makes a card for Santiago
new
to use against
cards
you in a
with
tournament.
effectively same effects.
Lysander Lab already exists.
Okay, like I said, new cards with effectively same effects.
Mhm.
Why why print new cards? Like, what's the philosophy behind creatures for this?
I don't understand it.
Is it just not relevant enough anymore? Is that what it is?
Lysander Labs.
Like the theme of it, Lysander being like an old generation.
But Jamming Tower has no theme to it.
Well, that's why it's universal.
Yeah. Like, for example, again, if you were to do what was it?
That's like how they changed Lysander to boss.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Boss is
Like-
universal.
Boss's
But
orders
the
universal.
flip side to that is like they really just print stuff like Wallace, right? And that's not from this generation. So why does it matter? Why can't I not just reprint Lysander Labs?
Maybe because they're waiting for those like certain like Gen 6 coming up, right? With the new Pokemon Legends game, they're reserving the Lysander brand for other stuff going
But
forward.
why would they use the Lysander brand for something that's not going to be taking place in the present?
Because it's upcoming. Again, if you want a new Lysander branded card, it's gonna come probably in whatever Pokemon Legends ZA we end up getting.
Except that ZA doesn't take place during a time frame when Lysander Labs would exist. So how is that even thematic?
We don't know that. We might get a future.
Well, what if he's Lysander Jr.? Do you ever think of that?
Well, okay. Going back to the original question, essentially, is there a purpose? Do they? What do you think? If they have a purpose, what's the purpose?
They wanted to make it so that we could play 8 tool shut-off stadium cards in Eternal.
Makes sense.
But in Eternal, you already have a rule that effectively nullifies that, don't you?
No.
Where like if it's effectively the same card,
No.
It's for specific ones.
just for like
It's
Professor
specifically for the
Juniper,
same cards.
Sycamore, and okay. So then
And Crushing Hammer and Energy Rule 2 have that rule too.
Warpoint.
War points.
So you could do 4
Four.
war points and 4 escape ropes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
There's nothing wrong with that. Smile.
I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. It's just a lot of switching.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine having 8 boss in your deck?
Can I reset? Can I reset Iron Valiant's effect if I like bring it back up and put it back down?
If you pick it up with like a Sharon's carry or well, something like that. Yeah.
4 switch cart, 4 switch,
4 war point.
4 point.
But like I said, you need something like that. So you would have to use something like Churro to pull it up to get it up there.
So we can have 100 per turn essentially.
Anyway, that card's.
You can
Good
run
talk about
AV
the
and Turos.
Let's talk about Kieran. Kieran, choose one. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. During this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, or active Pokemon EX or active Pokemon V before applying weakness and resistance.
This card is so good.
It is very good.
This
It's just the versatility that makes it good. Though.
Yes, it's the
Like,
versatility.
yeah,
It's gonna be a 1-up in a lot of decks because it fixes math for a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and when you're thinking of damage modifiers, you're thinking, oh, what do I have in my deck that I can get that little extra damage of? Boom, you have a utility card that you can put out with Tatsugiri.
You can find it with
That's
Tatsugiri,
good.
you can find it with Luminion, you can find it with Gallade. Like, you have ways to find Kieran that are good and can help you do what you need to do.
Pokekey.
Yeah, Gear works too.
Did we get to the fake Pokegear yet? The bad Pokegear.
No, that's not this set.
Okay.
Up next, we have Ogre's Mask. Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Choose the Pokemon EX in your discard pile that has Ogerpon in its name and switch it with one of your Pokemon EX that has Ogerpon in its name. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon.
0.75 out of 10 because this card in itself is what makes Ogerpon bad because you need the card to switch between it.
Well, that's the problem. Is the switching would be cool if you could actually like
Do it without the cards, yeah.
the energy costs are what kill Ogerpon. Like the Ogerpon, the Teal Mask Ogerpon requires 3 grass energy.
Ogre
But
energy.
they're all specific energy types that they need to use their attacks, which just makes them worse.
And it's not even a single one, right? Like you can't even do it with like legacy energy or anything.
No,
like that.
if it were like colored energy and then double color, like a double colorless, then it would be okay. Because you just like you said, legacy energy, double turbo, or attach with Teal Mask or something. But no, You don't have that. You can't do that. Mask. It makes me want to think of the deck potentially being something where you could swap to do different type advantages, or just swap in like a barrier Pokemon like the Cornerstone Mask one. But ultimately, the whole idea behind that mask swap just doesn't work.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Do we think the stellar type is going to be reserved just for Terrapagus? Because
probably.
imagine a stellar type Ogerpon that we could switch into.
I think it'll start with. I mean, it'll start with Terapagos,
Broken
but
archetype incoming.
they may do one every now or then, like for specific Pokemon.
So, am I thinking of how they're going to handle Stellar type? I think it's probably just going to be like a Crystal type ability, like they did back in the day.
Like crystal Pokemon, like would they have like all the
Where
rainbow
they're
energy?
actually colorless. Maybe they'll still give them like the Terra effect or whatever, or maybe they'll call it the Stellar effect, but it does the same thing. And then they'll have regular stuff otherwise.
I mean, it would be cool if like they introduced like again a special energy symbol for it and just it.
I don't think they will.
I'd like it. I'd like that a lot, actually.
It'll make Terrapagos a little bit more unique. But again, if they design a whole archetype, again, we've seen creatures essentially design these brand new archetypes to come in and just destroy the format. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I feel that if they decide Terrapagos is the new poster child for it, they'll make a whole archetype and a whole broken deck around it.
Hey,
Stellar system.
It has Kecleon's ability.
you want me to play it?
Hmm?
You want me to play it?
Maybe what they do is they just make it so you have to play each of the different Terrapagos, but they all have different names.
Oh my god.
I think
Terrapagos,
she's up there.
Terrapagos EX, etc.
So like Arceus, like old Arceus.
Kind of like that, yeah.
You can
Or-
have as many Pokemon named Terrapagus in your deck as you'd like.
I know.
Or you
now that would be cool.
Okay, so, or you completely just say, go the opposite direction, make it unplayable, and just say Terrapagos is whatever type of energy you actually have attached to it. Because
You'll still build it.
no, not touching it.
I'd like that.
I don't like
That'd be
Terrapagos as a Pokemon.
Cool thing.
You'll build it for Tiff.
Yeah, like I said, Ogre's Mask was really disappointing because there wasn't any real support for fun.
Now, if you had a stadium that allowed you to use that multiple times, as long as it stayed in there,
It's not great. Up next, we have Scoop Up Cyclone.
woo!
Scoop Up Cyclone is a reprinted A-Spec, the second of two. Put one of your Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand.
I'm so excited.
And I just
I
can't
love
hide
this
it.
card.
This card is amazing, and I'm so glad that it got reprinted.
I love the art for it, actually. I honestly almost like this one more than the original.
Okay, going back to Charizard. Charizard can be like if you don't want to hit Charizard, it's getting scooped up.
Is it though? Because they're probably running Maximum Builder Prone Catcher.
I'm saying like it's the scoop up Cyclone because again,
He'll put it in.
When you're
his,
playing
is what he's
Charizard-
trying to say.
tempo play is so important that nullifying a big hit from your opponent can really turn the match in your favor.
Although, do we think that that's gonna be played in Tina, or is it still just gonna be Prime?
Good team play this.
I don't see Tina playing it. Why?
There.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't see Tina playing it.
I say big bulky archetypes like Charizard is
Yeah,
probably
the
the best.
big ones.
Do you see any other archetypes though? Like
I'm just sad that they already introduced the
Mm.
different A-Spec that Reggie's likes more.
Next, we have Secret Box from Masquerade.
woohoo!
This card's crazy.
You can play this. You can use this card only if you discard 3 other cards from your hand. Search your deck for any item card, Pokemon tool card, supporter card, and stadium cards. You're getting up to 4 cards here. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Again, that's search your deck for an item card, a Pokemon tool card, a supporter card, and a stadium card.
So one of each of every
So we
trade
got
card.
Electric Generator, Forest Seal, Arven, and Beach Court, and we're using the Force Hill and Arvin to grab 2 other electric generators.
So
Let's
I want to say, I want to make a comment. And again, I'm not gonna make the
So we're
comment
getting
of
3
which,
off 1 card.
which YouTubers did this, but so many YouTubers I've seen with the reveal of this one that end up saying, "Oh, I'm gonna look for my hero's cape or something like that," and I'm like, "This is an A spec itself. You can't look for another A spec." So just a reminder, this is your A spec. You don't get the other cards from it. But yeah, honestly, the best way I can describe it is a combo in a box. If you have a very combo heavy deck that you just happen to have those exact pieces, this
Or
is
a deck
great.
that just needs to hit their generators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it does actually thin a lot of cards out of the deck for
It
generators.
Mhm.
I genuinely think that this is a good card. I think it was Jake Gerhardt was saying it wasn't very good. I think it's pretty decent.
I think this rivals Computer Search, frankly.
And again,
I
cards,
genuinely think it does.
archetypes that want to discard, throwing 3 into the discard pile, like
No, which one do you
Ancient
think?
Box running this?
Lugia, really?
Wait.
Honestly?
Which one do you think stronger, Computer Search or Prime Catcher?
Oh, that's tough.
That's very tough.
Well,
That one's hard.
well, hear me out here. Lugia, you can grab Collapse Stadium with it.
I'd say it's probably Prime Catcher, but it's close.
Do you want to discard 2 cards and get any 1 card, or do you want Kuzma on an item?
So again, presuming we have Secret Box, we got it off of I don't know, we got it off Arvin or something like that, right? We got Secret Box off Arvin. We don't have our Archeops. If we have our Archeops, we throw away 3 away, and then
Why are you running this in Lugia?
I'm saying it's really good in Lugia. Then you
Yeah,
can literally
use a Secret Box for your Master Ball. Okay, buddy.
no, you don't run Master Ball. You know why Master Ball is in Lugia? Because they are so desperate for finding stuff.
Yeah, they're desperate for a lover too, man.
You get your Collapse Stadium, you get rid of your Lugia immediately after you use B-Star off of this. Honestly, I'm saying,
And then you got that.
Cyclone.
Just play the protect, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Why do you always talk about Lugia when you say that you have always hated it?
I do, but I'm just saying it works really well in it.
But you won't sell your Lugias.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're
Let's move on.
gatekeeping.
All right, let's move on. Finally, our last card today is
New upper.
Legacy Energy.
Woo!
As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but provides only 1 energy at a time. Once per game, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, your opponent takes 1 fewer prize
I
card.
love this card.
Could you imagine if this wasn't on an A spec and you paired this with Life Dew?
This card is so
This makes me so happy.
Israel Sands?
and I feel like maybe Dragapult should run it.
Dude, okay. If it didn't have the once per game,
Uh-huh.
you could have been able to Roxanne it back in, right? Or Roxanne's
Roxanne's
research.
back in.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
could-
that would be so.
no, if it
busted.
wasn't a once per game clause, Reggie's his best deck in format. Like hands down.
Regis will be really good.
No,
And it's
it
very
just
good
would
internal.
be. It just would be best deck.
Dude, like Reggie's absolutely plays this in Eternal.
Can we get?
I don't know though.
Can we
Yeah.
run? Can we find a way to like get around once per game?
No, I think it
No.
does.
Let's
Game,
skip
it's a
up
game
Cyclone,
state check.
so
You
useful.
cannot break that. So Legacy Energy, it's interesting. It's like they took the Life Dew concept and both tried to make it good still, but also nerf it.
Well, no, I think it's better because with Jamming Tower around, what's that? You know, the freaking Life Dew would have been useless.
That's bold.
You do realize Enhanced Hammer's around too, right?
What's an Enhanced Hammer?
Is that in Masquerade?
It's not.
It's not, though. But obviously, I'm being facetious.
Enhanced Hammer from Crimson Haze. Discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's a reprint of Enhanced Hammer from Guardians Rising.
Is that the first print of it? In Guardians?
Guardians Rising, that's the first print.
No, no.
Well, no.
No,
It's the
it
most recent-
wasn't.
It's the most recent
I
print.
wanna
was
say-
gonna say,
I wanna
there's no
say-
way that was its first print.
No, it's also not the most recent one. There was a Sword and Shield version of it.
Enhanced Hammer? No, there wasn't.
I'm
Crushing Hammer there was.
Maybe Crushing Hammer I'm thinking of, but I remember when Hammers was around,
Enhanced Hammer, I think it's had one print prior.
the black and white one. The original one is definitely like plasma something.
Plasma free?
It was because there was a gold one. Dark Explorers.
Yeah, I know you have.
It
one
was
in
Dark
your
Explorers.
binder.
There you go.
There was one in Phantom Forces, Guardians Rising, Primal Clash.
They're all the same art, though, aren't they?
Excluding gold ones, yes.
Yeah, excluding gold.
Apparently there was a Reggie Rock with hammer arm and enhanced stomp that popped up. So
Anyway, so Legacy Energy, I think it's very good. I do want to see maybe Dragon Ball will play it. What do you think?
no.
I think so. What do you think?
I think there are going to be some Dragon Bolts that will run it. I think.
What's the best deck that runs this card? Let's think about that.
What needs one energy to attack?
Mighty Anna.
Actually, though, it is run this in
But Mighty Anna, no prizes taken.
for once in the game. You get through 7 whole Mighty Anna.
Sableye. Lost Mine.
So it has to be an archetype
So-
where your opponent is already having a hard time keeping up on the price race with you.
Yeah.
And putting legacy energy in it just makes it even worse. It has to be a single type.
Bluff for
Ancient
10.
box.
Yeah, you could go for 10 with this.
Super 10 would be pretty basic.
Well, I mean,
it makes a fair point.
so ancient box, but ancient box already relies on like its own
Ancient
stuff.
Box won't run this.
But what's another good single price archetype?
Okay, we've done that's the
Festival
list.
Lead.
That's the whole list.
The whole list is
Ancient
just
Box?
Ancient Box. But Ancient Box doesn't run this.
Yeah, because it can't saw, does it?
All right, here we are. Let's attach it to Cramorant.
Why?
The way they're attaching for Tyrion. Alright, clearly Christian has
No.
lost it. The concept's derailed.
Oh, it's from damage from attack. I was gonna say we put this on our fortress before it explodes.
You know what would be cool though? Somebody has this attached to one of their Pokemons and Dragapult is just like damage counter.
Or
It has to
Star-
be the damage from attacks, right?
Yeah.
Or Star Requiem.
Star Requiem would work too because it's an effective on attack, not damage.
Or
from attack.
Frenzy Gouging.
But you can combine it with Mist Energy.
Or twin shoulders.
Anyway, let's wrap the stream
Go
up.
cook for her. For her turn.
Let's wrap the stream up before the power goes out. Because the lightning is really getting crazy. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our nonsensical jibber jabber throughout the whole the review first impressions of this set. I know we could be a little chaotic to listen to when we're doing these first impressions, but if you happen to enjoy the first impressions of our look at Mask of Change, let us know in the comments so that we have some semblance of knowledge about how many people actually made it to the end of this video. In fact, if you did make it to the end of this video, leave the word Cramorant in the comments for us. And if you feel like having some fun with it, say Cramorant with a legacy energy attached. Why don't you?
And if you got the Blissey reference, type
Okay.
Blissey.
But if you got the Blissey reference, go to the Poke Beach podcast from this week and leave it there.
Yeah.
Not in this video. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next one.